This is probably my most famous photo, the picture of John Lennon wearing the New York t-shirt. This was part of a photo session we were doing for an album cover called Walls and Bridges. I gave John this shirt about a year earlier, before we did the photo session. I think he feels very comfortable with it. I felt that he was becoming a New Yorker, that John wanted to stay in New York, that he liked the atmosphere and he liked the excitement and the energy of the arts scene in New York. And I really felt he belonged in New York, and he agreed because he wore the shirt. So I think that's why a lot of people like it, because he's very comfortable and we were very comfortable with each other. People ask me, how do you take a picture without intruding and without upsetting the situation? And I tell them it's by being part of the situation. And in a sense, that's how I became friends with John and Yoko. It's just by being part of the situation and sharing the same sense of humor and liking the same ideas. And also the fact that I don't intrude, I don't ask people to pose, I don't get in their way, I stay out of the way pretty much. And I have patience, and I wait until a photo appears in front of me, and then I just take the photo without disrupting what's going on. The picture here on the left is the first time I saw John and Yoko at the Apollo Theater in New York City. They were backstage waiting for their car, and a bunch of people were standing around taking pictures, so I took a few pictures. And at one point, John said, "People are always taking our picture, we never see them. What happens to these?" And I said, "Well, I live around the corner, I'll show you my pictures." And he said, "Well, slip them under the door then." Years later, talking to John and Yoko, when we did become friends, Yoko mentioned that that was very surprising because nobody really came to their house and didn't ask for something. And I was like one of the few people who actually came and gave them something and left. So I think that helped to start our relationship and our friendship. And the fact that they just lived literally a half a block away, like 1 minute from my house, we developed a friendship. They ended up hiring my wife to work as their personal assistant. So we got to know each other better and better over the years. On one of the very last nights I saw John Lennon, just a few days before he died, I went by the Record Plant Studio where he was working with Yoko on a new record that Yoko had made, the Walking on Thin Ice record. And we started taking some pictures around the studio, and John was posing in front of the guitar. But I knew that John had made this guitar for an art exhibit in the early 70s. There was something called the Avant-Garde Fair, and John made this guitar, but it was too big for him to get into his house to keep it at home. So they kept it in the recording studio. And then John took Yoko and he pushed her up against the wall, and he started really kind of moving on her. And he said, "Take a picture like this because this is what everybody really wants to see." And I hope that you get inspired by it and have that kind of fun in your life. Because for me, rock and roll is all about freedom. It's about the freedom to express your feelings very loudly in public. So please try and do that, but remember to go in peace, live in peace, and imagine peace. Peace.